So, you want to get a lot of loot as quickly as possible, and the best way to do that is to go to the oil rig. You've already seen other YouTubers do this, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. But once you get here, you get lost, and bang, you need to start all over again. Well, this guide is here to save you a lot of time and nerves. I'm gonna show you some meta tips and tricks to dominate small oil rig in Rust. For easy navigation, this video is divided into several parts, including preparation, general tips, crazy spots, and some hidden features. Even if you've been playing for a while, there might be something here you didn't know. By the way, at the end of the video, I'll show you a very useful server where you can test your oil rig skills. So be sure to hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel, and check out today's sponsor. Rustly is one of the fastest growing Rust websites with a lot of games to play, many deposit methods, including skins, cards, and crypto, and instant withdrawals with a store full of skins. You can claim 5 free cases by using code STELIC or clicking the link in the video description. You can battle against real players or bots in games like Case Battles, Coin Flip, and even Minefield, and win cool skins. And if it's not enough for you, you can get a lot of bonuses and free cases every 24 hours. In fact, you can get 5 free cases right now if you click the link in the description or go to rustly.com and use code STELIC. And now, let's get back to the video. Before you head out to the oil rig, you need to make sure you have everything you need. If you have lots of supplies like guns, mats, and so on, bring them with you. It will make it a lot easier to take the oil rig. But even if you're broke, it's still possible to clear the monument. Based on my personal experience, unless you're a crazy cyber professional chat, you need at least the simplest kit, like mine, with some crappy armor, a crossbow, and ideally a nail gun, 2 stacks of nails, and a stack of arrows, or around that, a bow knife or some other kind of harvesting tool, which you can use to collect the clothes from the scientists that you have killed, and as many mats as possible. Bandages, cloth, meat, corn or pumpkins will do. With this set, you can clear the oil rig in comfort. But even if you don't have any of that, you can still try your luck with a bow and some bandages. After all, an oil rig doesn't contain any radiation. There are 4 main ways to get to the oil rig, including driving a boat to the base of the oil rig, flying a copter and landing it at the top, swimming over with a diving tank and some flippers, and using a submarine to get here undetected. And since you're broke, the best way to get here is with flippers, a boogie board or a kayak. Well, the preparations are done. Now that you've made it here, what are you going to do next? If the lover scientist is alive, don't touch him, he may help you in the future. For example, if you get countered, it will be impossible for any counters to sneak up on you, because while they're climbing up one of the 2 ladders, the scientist will just shoot at them, and you'll hear the gunshots and be aware of the counter. On the other hand, if you let him leave, you have to run past it and you'll take more damage. And it's just the right time to put the first trick to use. If you're fast enough, you can actually access the moon pool without a diving tank or flippers without taking any damage. But be careful, someone might be waiting for you inside. If there are no scientists on the oil rig from above, you can just hide somewhere and wait for other players. But it's best to check all floors for barrels, crates and bodies. You might find some free loot. To save your time, here's a little guide to where you can find crates. There are no crate spawns on the first floor, but there is one on the second floor, right here. If the crate is not in this place, then it has not had time to respawn. There are 1 or sometimes 2 open crates on level 3, and 4 more crates in the green puzzle room. By the way, sometimes this room can be opened even if you don't have a green card, so try just walking up to the door and pressing E, it might open this door. On the top floor you can find 2 more open crates. The first one will be hidden in this container, next to the stairs, and you'll find the second one on the other side, next to the fuse room. By the way, if you find the fuse in one of the scientists, you can open this room and get 2 more military crates. The remaining crates and the best loot are hidden in the main room. But to get here you need a blue card and a red card. If you're broke, I doubt you'll have them. In addition, normal barrels, oil barrels and diesel barrels can be found through the monument. The oil barrels can be used to collect extra fuel for the vehicles, while the diesel can be used in the large excavator monument, or you can simply sell it. This is the loot I got after 1 run without looting the puzzle rooms and scientists. And here is the loot from the green card room and the fuse room on the top floor. Now let me show you what to do if there are scientists on the top floors. Each level of the small oil rig will have scientists equipped with MP5s or other rifles. Typically, you can find 1 scientist at level 0, 2 scientists at level 1, 5 scientists at level 2, 2 scientists at level 3, and 6 scientists at level 4, which is the top of the oil rig. However, scientists can go up and down the levels. This makes it difficult to determine how many scientists at a given level. In this case, the easiest way to kill the scientist on the second, third and top floors is to get their attention, so they follow you down to the stairway. To do this, it's best to go downstairs and climb to the first floor any way you can. If you want to kill the lower scientist, you'll have to run up to this box with a tarp on it. Next, you want to keep the scientist between you and the box, and just shoot at him with your bow or whatever weapon you have. Don't forget that you can use this boat to get some cloth, which you can use to make bandages. Once you have reached the first floor, you need to bait the scientist to this crate. Next, you'll need to constantly jiggle pick and kill him this way, while he's on the stairs. The constant picking and unpicking confuses the bots and keeps them at a standstill. This makes them very easy to kill. Once you've killed and looted all the scientists, your loot will look something like this. At this point, it's best to go home and save all that loot, because you have nothing else to do here without cards and normal weapons. But if for some reason you have 200 wood and 2 ropes in your inventory, you can craft a fishing rod and use the food from the food boxes to try and catch a blue card. If you're lucky, you'll be able to open the blue room and then go home to save your loot. But before you go, there is one more trick you can use. You need to write down or memorize this code in the blue room. When you find the pager, change its frequency using the code from the crate room. If you tune the pager to the specified frequency, you'll receive a signal when the crate is activated. And if you want to check how many people are on the oil rig right now, you can place a computer station inside your base and use these codes to connect to the cameras. I'll leave these codes in the description below, so you can just copy them. With all this information, you already have the advantage of knowing how many people are on the oil rig, and that the crate is already activated, so you have 15 minutes to get there. By the way, if you don't want other players watching you, you can shoot the camera once and it will stop working for about 30 minutes. Now let me show you how to deal with heavy scientists. But before we begin, you'll need better equipment for this. For example, I'd recommend using this kit and at least a semi-pistol or other level 2 weapon, and of course lots of bullets and meds. When taking the heavy scientist, I usually recommend playing on this crane. I think it's the easiest way to do so. As you can see, the scientists will come out of the helicopter, and I would recommend getting as much damage as you can from this long range, because after you damage them, they will come running to you. Your task is to bait as many bots under the crane as possible. Next, you need to jump down on this grill, uncrouch and shoot them through this gap right here, just like this. It will take some time, so don't rush it. So here's the algorithm. You uncrouch, shoot a bullet, then crouch again. Uncrouch, shoot a bullet, crouch again, and so on, until you shoot them all. And here's the loot I got from all those heavy scientists. Not bad, right? That would be the end of it, but here are a few more useful tips you need to know. If the stairs are being kept on a small oil rig, you can use this light to make an unexpected appearance on level 2. If your oil rig is in the snow and you happen to get wet, you can dry off quickly next to the flare pipe. If you set your object quality to 0, you can see through small cracks all around the oil rig. You can also use this keybind to toggle it on and off. I'll leave it in the comments below, so you can just copy it. And in the same place, you can shoot through the gaps at the bottom. And finally, here's a great server where you can practice your oil rig skills. Here you can choose from all types of equipment, transport and weapons, so you'll definitely improve your skills. I'll leave all the info and IP in the description below. If you have any tricks that I haven't mentioned in this video, drop them in the comments for me and other players to read. And be sure to hit that like button below if this guide was useful. And if you want to learn more about Rust, then in this video I'm gonna take advantage of game mechanics and glitches to do things maybe not intended by the developers.